Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another video. This is a golf vlog. I am playing 9 holes on the front 9 at Landsmere Golf Course. These are the blue tees, which are the tips. I am going to do a special focus on course strategy and decision making on this round. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the first principle I want to talk about, kind of the foundation of my course strategy, is that every single full swing shot that I make, I want the ball to start a little bit to the right and curve a little bit to the left. Every swing I make, I want the ball to draw. And so a lot of my practice goes towards that end. I try to spend a lot of time working on my swing to develop a swing where I can draw the golf ball. Now, my intention with this, though, isn't necessarily to tell you that you have to draw the golf ball, just that I think it's really important that you develop a dependable movement of the golf ball. So basically, if I am right now, you can see where I am aiming this tee shot. My feet line are here, my ball line is here. So the edge of the fairway is here, and then it kind of doglegs a little bit to the left. The pin is actually here. So ideally, the most ideal spot the golf ball could end up would probably be right here. So I am aiming a little bit more on this line, and I'm trying to draw it back to the left. That is like the core bit of my golfing strategy. So we'll refer back to that point a few times. But now I hit this one well, nice and high and far, but it is actually fading a little bit. So first swing, maybe I'm not feeling super in rhythm yet and not super comfortable, and I fail on my plan. However, even though that wasn't a great drive, I didn't really succeed, I'm still in the rough, so maybe a little bit of a fortunate break there. I've got a decent lie. It's a par 5. I've got 255 yards. I'm just going to send a 3-wood down there. Now, I do think some people would choose to maybe lay up. I don't know. I usually, 240 is my 3-wood number, so I don't know if I can really get back there. Like the pin is way in the back right. However, I'm going to try to advance the ball down as far as I can. This is kind of a decade strategy approach. Now, let's talk about this. This is the pin. This spot over here is where I don't want to be. I don't want to be right, and I don't want to be long. So anywhere kind of from this line into about here is perfectly fine. So if we look at my aim, you can see I'm probably aimed right here. And if I hit a little draw, I'll get right to the very front of the green. So, again, utilizing that principle where my swing, I wanted to hit the ball in a way that goes to the left. So maybe pulled it slightly with a little bit of a draw, going at the left edge of the green. That's completely fine. That was a successful 3-wood shot. Okay, here we are at the front of the green. Did hit my best drive, hit a pretty good 3-wood. I'm very happy to be here. Now, with my game, I'm not the longest player in the world, so a big part of my game is short game. And so with this 8-iron, it's pretty important that I can be able to kind of score with these shots. So I've got plenty of green to work with. I try to keep the ball down, and basically I'm just trying to use more of a putting motion with loft. So let's see how I do here. It looks a little stabby. And that golf ball just keeps rolling, actually right off the back. So a little club twirl there indicates kind of a sarcastic club twirl at the end. I'm frustrated. In hindsight, I don't actually think that was a bad strategy. Kind of the putt chip with the 8-iron is a shot that I practice a fair bit and rely on. I just simply think I executed it poorly. Maybe this is a function of not having a lot of time to warm up to know the speed of the greens, but ultimately I think I just simply hit it too hard. So not a great execution. That was a big mistake. Now I am just off the green between the fringe and the rough. It is resting up against the rough. So I actually have a pretty hard little shot here. I've got a 5 hybrid. I'm going to try to kind of putt through it and kind of punch it out a little bit. And it comes out okay. Not great. I probably have 6 feet here for par. And right there I miss. So disappointing. That putt wasn't great. The chip from the fringe wasn't great. But truthfully, the mistake was the 8-iron chip. And in hindsight, while I do want to try to get up and down from there, I also think it's okay to be mildly conservative with that chip shot. If I had just putted it on or chipped it onto the green and given myself a 30-foot putt, I probably would have 2-putted for par. Instead, I chipped it over the back. That was a mistake. So the chip was faulty, and that's really where the failure of execution lands. So, okay, hole number 2, par 3, 173 yards. It's a full 6 hybrid. Again, same strategy. Now here's the pin. It's right in the middle of the green. This is a hard green. It's got water short and left and long. This is probably one of the hardest holes on the course. Now, my strategy is, again, you can see where I'm aiming up the right. So I'm aiming right here, kind of at the right edge of the green. This is safe here. If I don't hit it well, I'm short. I'm okay. I've kind of taken this water out of play. If I hit it really well, odds are it's going to turn over to the left. Because again, I've developed my swing in such a way that I always am trying to turn the ball over right to left. It seems unlikely with that kind of swing that I'm going to hit the long flying fade. Usually if I am fading the ball, I hit it kind of off the heel and not well, so it'll still kind of go short and right. So just again, trying to utilize my swing strategy with my on-course strategy. And I did a nice job of forgetting of my troubles on the first hole, and I nuked this thing. It actually goes just off the back edge. So while I maybe could be a little frustrated with that, that's probably as well and as far as I will ever hit a 6 hybrid. Now maybe at some point you need to plan on hitting all of your shots solidly, but I also think it's okay to hit it just off the back when you hit it really flush. I don't think that means I had a bad strategy. It just means I got a little bit unlucky. But if I hit that shot 100 times, I'm not going to hit too many further than that. So, again, I've got a little chip shot here. This needs to be a part of my game where I can get up and down if I want to be a scratch golfer. Unfortunately, again, just like the last hole, I simply hit this thing too hard. So, don't have a great feel for things yet. And then I had about 10 feet for par, which I just kind of overread it and left it too high. Now, I'm frustrated with the putt. I would say, in truth, the mistake honestly was more with the chip. I would like to get that chip inside 6 feet to give myself a better chance for par. A 10-footer, you're not going to have a super high make rate. While you do want to make those, I think just as much of the blame really goes to the poor chip. So, overall, this hole is a hard hole, and walking away with bogey, I really shouldn't be beating myself up too badly. I hit a good drive, honestly, maybe a little too good. I hit a very below average chip and a pretty below average putt. So you're just going to walk away with bogey sometimes. So let's practice some short range memory and forget about that hole. This is hole number 3, 334 yard par 4. Now this is an interesting driving hole. You've got water in front, which is really just a distraction. The main hazard is really this water that snakes kind of all along the left side of the hole. The pin is over here. The fairway is quite large here at the front, but it narrows quite considerably. And actually at a landing zone of about 280, it's rough. And there's bunkers on both sides, bunkers on the right and water on the left. And so I think the play here is to lay up. I don't want to try to test the bunkers and the water. So I'm going to aim for the fat part of the fairway with my 3-wood. And you can see, again, with my aim, I am definitely aiming over here. Like the center of the fairway is right here. So I want to start the ball this way and draw it back. And if I overdraw it, I'm going to be in the left side of the fairway. If I hit it dead straight, I'm going to be in the right rough. That's just fine with me. I think that fits with my shot shape, and I'm comfortable with that strategy. I hit this one pretty well. I'm into a little bit of wind, so it's not going to travel quite as far. Probably hit it about 200 yards, 210 yards maybe. So now I've got 120 yards, pitching wedge. I am in the rough, but this is really a spot where on paper, I think you would look to be aggressive. We've got pin here on the front. I've got a good lie. However, I'm going to continue with my same strategy, and I'm going to aim. My aim point is really over here. The center of the green is like right here. So I'm aimed kind of at the right, 5 yards right of the center of the green. And again, I'm hoping just to turn the ball in from right to left, from the right edge into the heart of the green. I'm not looking at the pin. I'm just trying to hit this ball onto the green. And ultimately, I actually end up hitting it long and straight, kind of towards the back of the green. Now, did I get this one close from 120 yards? Are you hoping to give yourself a better chance for birdie? Yes. However, within the range of all possible outcomes, I think I made a good choice. And while I didn't execute perfectly, I executed well, and I still have a good opportunity to make par here with a good lag putt. So this is another part of my game that I try to practice a lot, is my lag putting. I think if you're going to have this approach play strategy where you're just trying to get the golf ball onto the putting surface, you're going to be leaving yourself with a lot of lag putts. Ideally, you want to be putting from the middle of the green out to the flag sticks. And so let's see how that goes. I managed to get a little bit of an offline. However, my pace is quite good. And I'm going to just go ahead and clean this one up for a tap-in for par. Tap-in pars is an excellent way to play golf and something I really strive for on every hole. 148 yards, same thing. I'm aimed over on the right side of the green, kind of on this line, and that's exactly where I hit it with a little bit of draw. So my strategy pays off. This is important because there's a whole bunch of water left. I've got 30 feet for birdie. That's just fine. Now, I actually kind of nuked this one. That was a bit of a mistake. And as you can't really see this very well, but I got about 5-6 feet, and I do manage to make it. So I talked about putting. I think there's really two distances with putting that are important. The first one are those lag putts, like that 50-footer that I had. And then the second one really is that range that I just made right there. And there's going to be a couple more on this 9 where that's really important, kind of that 3 to 6 foot range. If you can practice and hone your putting skills at that distance, I think it's really valuable. Okay, check my feet line again. I'm aimed kind of up. There's water right here, and it's a split fairway. So this is fairway and this is fairway. I want to hit it into this fairway. So, and actually I think I might not even be quite right there. So if this is my toe line, we draw a line parallel to that. So I'm really aimed kind of at this point, which is just inside of, this is probably the edge of so I'm about halfway between the middle and the right edge of the fairway. And again, what that does is it lets me kind of take the water out of play. Even if I draw this thing, I'm likely not going to get into the water. I'd have to hit like a 40-yard hook. So I do actually hit a tumbling draw, but it is completely fine, and it's a good swing, and I've given myself a really good number here. So 114 yards. This is a shot I want to talk about in some depth. The pin's in the front. 114 yards is a little under my pitching wedge number, which is like 120, 125. I decided to choke up a little, and I kind of think I want to make a kind of a 3/4 type swing. And in hindsight, now you can see I kind of had a abbreviated follow-through. I ended up pulling this one pretty badly, and I missed the green to the left. In hindsight, I think I would have been better off committing to my normal strategy, aiming over here on the right, and just making a nice full swing, nice and smooth. Don't have to kill it, but also don't try to get too cute. If I hit the ball 120 yards and I'm 6 yards long, I'm on the green and I'm putting, and I'm probably making an easy 2-putt for par. Instead, I'm just off the green, and I've got kind of a tricky downhill chip. So I'm going to hit my 55 degree. I was a little bit better at hitting my spot and almost made it, but it does roll out a little bit. So I've got a little effort to clean up here, probably 5 feet. But again, made it. So feeling good about that. My practice on that range of putts also pays off. That's a point of emphasis. Okay, same strategy. I'm going to keep harping on this. I am aiming up the right. This is left edge. This is right edge. This is the middle of the fairway. I'm aimed over on the right side. I want to draw the ball from the right side into the middle. And I do just exactly that. This was one of my better swings of the day. Okay, I've got 85 yards down the hill. This is another shot where 85 yards with a sand wedge, you kind of think, oh, let's kind of go at this thing. But if you look, I think my toe line is a little open here. My club face line, I think, is a little bit more right in here. So I'm aiming at the middle. If I hit my little draw, I'm going to be all over it. If I hit it straight, I'm going to be in the middle of the green, putting back to the pin. I end up hitting it pretty straight, And sure enough, right where I aimed, I'm putting from the middle of the green to the extremities. Honestly, not a super great stroke there. And I've developed a little pattern here. I've really been blowing them by. Got a little work here. And, I just curled that one on the edge. So, like 3 holes in a row now, I've my lag or chipping has been a little bit too strong. So I'm not having a great feel for the greens. However, the time I've spent practicing those 3 to 6 foot putts has been paying off. And I've been able to scrape by and string together some pars. So even though I haven't had my A game, I haven't hit the best shots in my life, I am still walking away with some good pars here. So hole 7, 135 9-iron. Same thing. This is my toe line. This will be my ball line, which is right kind of here at the right edge of the green. I'm just trying to draw that thing into the middle. Playing my same strategy all day. I catch it a groove low, and actually it really doesn't draw very much, and I actually hit this one quite close. So I've got 10 foot for birdie. I haven't really changed my strategy. It just so happens that with the type of swing I put on this ball, it happened to go a little closer. But I used the same strategies on the last hole and the hole before and the hole before. I'm always aimed at the right, trying to hit a little draw. This one just happened to be a little straighter. So I've got my, just almost by random chance, or like your shotgun spray pattern, it just so happens that this one, I've got a better chance. And sometimes you hear golfers talk about being patient with their round. I think this is what they're referring to. I never was pressing. I didn't go at this flag. I just was patient. And it so happened that my swing and my specific contact on this one got it a little closer. So you can see putts away. And I happened to actually drop this one. Made a nice putt there for a birdie. So even though I made a couple bogeys early on, got a birdie back. So here's hole 8, par 4. Same type of deal. I'm aimed up the right side. I smash a big drive. This was one of my better swings. I'm in the middle of the fairway. So my swing actually is feeling really good. I've hit some good drives, 3 holes in a row now. And feeling quite confident with my tee shots. Even though I'm feeling confident with the tee shots, where's my aim? My aim is, even though this is where the flagstick is, I'm aimed kind of right here, and I'm looking to draw this thing into the flag. Just so I happen to hit this one pretty straight. Doesn't really turn over. That's okay. I'm not upset. I executed well on my plan and hit it into the middle. I'm pin high 25 feet. I've given myself a run at birdie. In reality, I'm honestly just trying to get this thing close and tap it in. So easy par. Tap in pars are the lifeblood of a scratch golfer. Having a swing that's repeatable, a shot shape you can depend on, making good plans based on that shot shape, and even when you're not hitting your best shots, you're still giving yourself a chance to putt from the middle of the green out to the pin. Okay, now this hole, let's take a look again. The pin's over here. It's a par 5, dogleg left. This is the kind of left edge. This is probably the right edge is over here. Now I've got a little question mark. It looks to me like my aiming is getting a little off. I look like I'm aimed well out to the right. And it just so happens that I actually hit a big high fade. So this was a mistake. One of the poorer swings I made, whether it was a lack of focus, feeling my draw shot shape or commitment or whatever, but maybe even just the way I had aligned my body. While I do want to aim up the right, it seemed like that aim was excessively to the right. And so, just kind of confused myself. Any which way, that was a bad tee shot. So even though this is a scoreable par 5, I got myself in trouble. So I'm going to just hit a 5 hybrid and get myself back into play from this prairie grass. I actually hit quite a pull here. So even though I made a good swing, it pulled it pretty badly. I'm in the rough. But I've got 98 yards, and I still am feeling quite aggressive with this one. So I make a nice swing here, and am kind of all over this one right now. That was a good shot right there. And again, I've given myself an opportunity here. So even though I had a bad drive, maybe not a great second shot, I kind of made up for it with a good third shot, and I've got 15 feet here for birdie. And I managed to convert that. So feeling excited, waving it around. And so even after a bad start with 2 opening bogeys, I finished birdie on 7, birdie on 8 to bring it, birdie on 9 to bring it back to even par 35. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Even though I didn't necessarily have my best stuff, I still scored pretty well. I think my strategy gave me, I hit 6 out of 9 greens in regulation. So even though I missed the first 2, I hit 6 out of the last 7, and managed to give myself 2 good looks at birdies on 7 and 9 that I actually made. So even though I had a look at birdie on 4, on 6, on 8 even, I managed to convert with some patience. So overall around, I'm happy with. What are the takeaways here? Well, number 1, having a reliable shot pattern. For me, I want to draw the ball. I always want the ball to start where I aim it, which is going to be up the right. I always want it to turn back to the left. Number 2, commit to that strategy with all tee shots and approach shots. Number 3, practice my chipping and my lag putting, because I'm going to have a lot of those. And then lastly, also practicing my 3 to 6 foot putts to kind of alleviate some of the pressure from those third shots. All of that together lets me score even par 35. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.